We're on.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready to kick off day number 2 in semifinal action as we move forward in the NCATA 2025 National Championship Weekend. So glad you could join us here once again. Colin Kirkwood and Michaela Soper coming to you Matt's side here. And Michaela, we've got a pair of heavyweights in the sport.
Definitely. They are both well-experienced coaches on both sides of the mat tonight. Also, both teams have been here before, so they know what to expect. It's going to be a very exciting evening ahead.
Now, let's take a look at how these teams got to where they are. Of course, yesterday for Quinnipiac, when they started things up, they had a matchup against Iona. The first time that the Gales have ever made their way to this tournament, gave it their all, but Quinnipiac getting the victory in that one, 263 to 255.
Yes, that was a really great matchup, and again, I think we're in for it tonight. It's going to be awesome seeing this first semifinal, and then even later in the evening, Baylor and Augustana. It's going to be awesome to see.
And over on the other side, Oregon, the 2 seed, Quinnipiac, the 3 seed, by the way, that you just saw on your screen there, defeating Mary Hardin Baylor in a Division I versus Division III matchup and a rematch of last year's national championship tournament action, 270 to 252. Both teams looked rather strong in their first outing here, but now you have to think maybe fatigue might start to play a little bit more of a factor than yesterday, perhaps.
Possibly. Again, I think both coaches are well prepared for this. They know what to expect. They know how to prepare their teams as well. So I do think you'll see a lot of energy from both sides. You can already probably hear the crowd behind us. They're excited as well.
In the meantime, while we wait here, why don't we get acquainted with event number 1?
A pyramid heat, a toss heat, and a tumbling heat. These skills for the compulsory event represent the basic skills of the sport of acrobatics and tumbling. In this event, each team will execute the same skills for direct comparison. Each heat begins with a starting value of 10, and the officials will be looking for execution, body positions, and stability of structures.
Just in time for the Bobcats to kick off action here this afternoon. And one of the luxuries that we have now, we can look back and see where things are based off of yesterday's results as well, because the same size judging panel, and it just gives us a little bit more insight compared to the feeling out process, if you will, of yesterday.
Yes, definitely offers a lot of consistency throughout this weekend, as this is your very important matchups here.
Performances like that are what it's going to take to find yourselves into action tomorrow evening.
Yes, both are still on that journey, that quest for that national title. So as we watch this replay here, you're going to see a really strong performance from the Bobcats, hitting all of the technical pieces to this sequence to ensure they get as many points as possible, taking every 10th they can going into every heat coming up.
This Quinnipiac side still searching for their first national championship. Been in the championship field 12 times, but still searching for that first ever win.
Absolutely.
And just if you're wondering how things compared to yesterday, we'll look on that a little bit later, but that event for Quinnipiac bringing home a 9.425, just maybe less than 24 hours ago. Not certain on the numbers here, and I've been known to not be a math person, so, you know, check my math at home if you feel free, but in that 24-hour area,
yes.
something like that. Here comes Oregon now.
So Oregon will go out and they will compete the exact same sequence that Quinnipiac just did. The compulsory event is comparing apples to apples, so it's the basics of our sport. Both teams will go out and compete the same skills, set to counts. And really it just comes down to execution here.
Yesterday's performance brought them home a 9.45.
Performance from the Oregon Ducks. You saw a couple standouts there. Number 41, Haley Ellis. Number 22, Blessed McMorris. Number 10, Isabella Swarthout. And number 29, Alexis Giardina.
14 championship appearances for this Oregon side, looking for their first national championship since 2014, the four-time winners. Take quite the performance to get to that point, as the other team that's been in the limelight for quite some time in this sport has been stellar. We'll check them out a little bit later, but they're going to have quite a task in front of them as well, in front of this rowdy crowd that established themselves last night for these Augustana Vikings.
For sure. So we are heading into compulsory pyramid, and you'll see a structure that's called a 2-1-1. So 2 primary bases, 1 mid-level, and 1 top. That's how that's declared. And so both teams will have the same structure. They'll do a 180 up entry and a front flip off dismount into their cradle. Here comes Quinnipiac. Strong performance from the Bobcats. You can see the confidence going out there as well. Able to do a sharp head turn at the top. You can see the athlete go straight up and down there, not spin too soon. Toes are high enough in relation to the hips on those tops there. Really strong catch. Great job from the Bobcats there.
Waiting on Oregon now as they look to answer.
So again, they'll go out and they'll compete the exact same pyramid, and it will come down to those little points, those little tenths of execution here.
you can see behind us, they're killing time, waiting for the call, and it's finally arrived. Represented here this afternoon is that side from Oregon, and it's got to be a boost for them. It's something that at least last year they didn't necessarily have the luxury of, but not being as far here from the West Coast, I think we've seen a few more fans make their way here.
Definitely, and you know, some of these teams are battling that time difference. Quinnipiac coming in from the East Coast over there. We do have a time change over here, so we'll see kind of how that plays in each team's favor.
Flipping back over here again. Quinnipiac, and they'll have their next edition coming up here shortly.
And here come the Bobcats.
This was the highest scoring place in Event 1 for Quinnipiac yesterday, bringing back a 9.875.
Another very confident performance from the Bobcats here. So breaking everything down, you really want to see those bases not stay planted. They can lift off the floor, but as long as there's no extra steps or extra movement, that's not a deduction. You want to see full extension from your top, full extension from your bases on that set, and then also scooping through into that cradle. And then nice tight cradle catch there too. No extra movement.
Seen a couple of members of teams from yesterday's action coming in to continue and enjoy all weekend long. Saw members of Fairmont State working their way into the facility earlier today.
Definitely a crowd of limestone participants as well. So Oregon will go out and they will match Quinnipiac's and try and best them in this heat. Great way to keep it close there from the Ducks. So we'll take a look at that replay real quick. So again, looking at the base combinations there, no extra movement for them, full extension, great cradle catch. You really want to see that kick out too. Once they hit that tuck, it is a tuck kick out, open body position. So both teams did a really good job of hitting those body lines.
One more time coming up here from the Bobcats as you see them waiting over there.
it's important to note that in compulsory, everything actually starts from a 10, and that is by default. That is not something that the difficulty of these skills amounts to. So really, again, just comparing apples to apples, there is no start value difference between both teams here. You may see a little bit of that start value difference as we head into the optional rounds, and that's the acro event, pyramid event, toss event, tumbling event, and then team event. So that's important to note as we start heading into these optional rounds. If there are any start value discrepancies between this team, that could also amount to what ends up happening at the end of this evening.
Start value of 10.00. Welcome again, Quinnipiac.
Here come the Bobcats.
Their final edition here in event 1.
So lining up for compulsory tumbling here, they have 8 student athletes out here on the mat performing identical skills for compulsory tumbling. This is the basics of our sport, very basic tumbling skills going out there and being performed. It is difficult to synchronize 8 student athletes on the floor doing those skills to those counts. So it's important to note that you're looking at, stuck landings, no extra movement upon landing, a full set in every single part of that sequence, straight arms on the floor, good form, feet together, chest up, all of the little details that are going to add up towards the end of this meet, taking every 10th that they possibly can. Big set here, and chest up there. Any step, any extra bobble on the landing, those are deductions.
Interesting to note for the performance here in this portion, at least in the 4th heat in event 1 for both of these teams, bringing home the exact same score yesterday in both of their matchups. So perhaps maybe might be a place to look at when we start to split hairs here between these two when it comes down to figuring out who will be the winner. Don't want to look too far ahead of things, but might be worth checking into later. For those wondering, that was both identical for both of these sides, an 8-4, 7-5 yesterday.
I think that just goes to show how tight this is going to be throughout this entire meet. Got Limestone there supporting.
Look here again at Oregon's most recent edition.
Looking at that full 180-degree split there. Want to make sure from toe to toe there is a full line. Looking at that amplitude there, you really want to see those hips rise. Could be receiving something like insufficient stretch or extension. And again, you want to make sure your body is fully stopped there, no extra movement or a few extra bobbles there from both teams, but overall a really good job.
We'll step aside here briefly. When we come back, we'll get ready to move on forward here in our first of two this afternoon from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, right here on ESPN+.
The second event is the Acro event. This marks the beginning of the optional portion of the meet. Each team will compete with skills previously chosen with different possible start values. There will be between 2 and 4 athletes in a group on the floor in each of the 3 heats. Heat 1 has 5 elements, Heat 2 has 6 elements, and Heat 3 has 7 elements. The start value is determined by the difficulty and combination of each skill. In addition, each position must be held for 3 seconds. This event demonstrates power, strength, and balance.
Here's a good look at the Oregon faithful here. Loud and rowdy bunch they've been so far. We'll get a look at that here in a couple of seconds. Some pretty impressive numbers here on this score sheet. We'll check that out here once they all make their way through. Don't want to spoil anything yet.
Oregon with a score of 9.750. In the toss heat, Quinnipiac with a score of 9.900. Oregon with a score of 9.800.
Don't be surprised here. Things will be pretty interesting when we get towards the end.
Oregon with a score of 8.175.
But wait, there's more.
Quinnipiac with a score of 37.075. Oregon with a score of 37.075.
And yeah, can't find a difference between the two right now, if you heard that correctly, but look at that, right on the money between these two.
Yes, and so that's exciting to see as far as, again, this is the basics of the sport, and, you know, they are required to go out there and do those certain skills. We're headed into more of those optional rounds right now, so we'll see as far as the strengths of each team and how each coach plays to those, how that really works in each team's favor as we head into this Acro event.
Quinnipiac's 5-element yesterday, bringing back a 9.55 for reference.
Excitement there and a great start for the Bobcats in 5-element Acro. So you'll see number 2, Anna Sullivan here. Acrobatic gymnastics background, really utilizing those skill sets here in the sequence. Definitely very difficult to perform as far as going up and down in that handstand body position, but does it, looks effortlessly to me.
But, coming up here from Oregon, this is where they were stellar yesterday. In yesterday's 5-element, bringing back a 9.8 for their scorecard. You can improve, but you know, it can be tough. But it's always important to note when it comes to these kind of things, you're not necessarily competing against the other team, you're just trying to do better than you did before.
Definitely, it's very much an us versus us mentality. And that's a good thing. You know, you don't actually come in contact with the other team, with your opponent, and so that's really cool to actually see the empowerment from both sides, is that one team can actually support the other even though you are going against each other. It's okay to celebrate those little victories and celebrate the amazing skills that all of these athletes are going out there and doing. So you may see a little bit of that in some of these meets, this one and the next one coming up. See a little bit of a newer skill combination here as well. These are very elite level skills that are about to be performed here.
I think you can see the reason why it brought home the marks that it did yesterday.
Really great sequence for them here. So you'll see this one-to-one base to top combination here. So very difficult just this skill alone, and then you add that body position on top here. Not only just hitting that body position, but holding 3 seconds. That is a requirement, is trying to hold for 3 seconds in every single part of the sequence. And then holding that body position for a lot longer than 3 seconds, all the way through that slide to split combo.
The 6 element coming up next from Quinnipiac. Yesterday's effort bringing back a 9.225. Plenty of high marks for this 3 seed. They look to find their way into the national championship.
First with a start value of 10.00. Welcoming in the Bobcats.
So adding a little more difficulty here with the 6 element acro. There are synchronized groups. That is a part of the requirement to go out there and compete. So 5 and 7, you'll see 1 group go out there and perform. 6 element, you'll see 2. Very well done from the Bobcats.
We'll get a chance to look here once again and take that in.
Utilizing that press handstand capability again, both athletes out there hitting that other body position. We've already seen that utilized so far, not by Quinnipiac, so great to see. And then again, a lot of excitement. You're going to keep that energy all the way through this entire meet. I'm sure that a lot of love from head coach Mary Ann Powers as well. You can see she's really engaged with her athletes.
Always a joy to talk to as well.
Absolutely, and one of the founders of this sport, she's been around for a while, really helped pioneer it and really paved the way for a lot of other young coaches across the nation to try and do the same. And here comes the Oregon Ducks.
Another addition from Oregon.
Yes, 6 element is definitely the most difficult if you ask me as far as acros go. 7 element, definitely more skills, so a little bit easier to get to that 10.0 start value. Synchronizing these elite level skills is always very tricky, and it's added a lot of depth to our sport. Utilizing more athletes on the roster, trying to find skill sets that work for not just one group, but 2 groups. And so you'll see a few minor deductions here, an extra step on that walk into extension, but again, a very difficult skill. And then you'll see a little bit of over rotation, so that is going to be a deduction for them. So you could take deviation, over rotation, a couple things on that. She did not land straight on. So this part on the left-hand side actually gave them a little bit of trouble yesterday, so they definitely performed that better than the day before, and that's great to see, is making those adjustments and corrections.
One more addition here from Quinnipiac as we look to close out event number 2. And off into the third we go shortly. That is a side that I don't think fears the occasion one bit right now. They seem to be in a great place.
A lot of positivity. You can tell there's confidence too. They're letting loose, and really both sides too. They're dancing, just having fun. You know, it's important to enjoy the moment. It goes so quick, and before we know it, this meet will be over. So trying to take in every single part of this experience here at the National Championship.
They did advance to this round last year, and ultimately falling to Gannon in the semifinals a year ago. And it was a close one, 266-615 to 265-315. It was really one that we were waiting on down to the real end of the wire. And I have a feeling we might see that again here today, maybe.
Looking at those compulsory scores, I would definitely say so. We'll see Gannon later on this weekend. They've qualified for an individual event final. It'll be good to see new teams that are coming in here on Sunday. Teams from different regions making some, coming out here. They've been here before. And then other ones, possibly coming out for the first time. So here comes Quinnipiac in their 7 element.
Welcome up the Quinnipiac.
You'll see top here, Mia Rose King, number 4. Seeing that body position again we saw earlier. Hitting that 3-second hold there gave her a little bit of trouble yesterday, so good to see them correct that.
Another look at this one here again as they close out and keep the energy flowing.
And that skill right there, that's also pretty new for our sport. You don't really see one of those forward-facing handstands where they step up from the front there. So cool to see them do new skills as well. Great hold here, and just a reminder, everything needs to be held for those 3 seconds. So those are deductions if it is not held for 3 seconds. They could get lack of hold, but in that, you want to make sure that it's stable as well. You don't want to see a lot of movement or shaking. So that was a really great job for the Bobcats. So one more heat in the acro event. Oregon's going to wrap it up here. And then we are already into the pyramid round. So it is flying by with teams like this that have minimal deductions. It may go a lot quicker. This is an iconic duo for the Ducks here.
You know, I have to agree, somebody behind us had said there towards the end, but wait, there's more, and yes, there was indeed more to that.
There was, again, hitting that 7-element requirement, so it's awesome to see. They're hitting that in under 45 seconds as well. There is a time limit for all of these acros that have to go out there, so she performs these elite level skills all the way up into her handstand there, pressing back down, sliding into that split, and then gets right back up right out of that and finishes out the sequence. Quick get up here. Finishing up that requirement of the 7 elements. So we touched on this yesterday, but every single one of the elements in or the heats in acro event, they do have to have an inversion requirement, so you'll see that through that event as well.
We'll step aside quickly, and when we come back, we'll get ready for event number 3, flying by here in the first of 2 in South Dakota for the NCATA 2025 National Championship Weekend on ESPN+.
The third event is the pyramid event. The pyramid event will be the final event in the first half. In the pyramid event, athletes will build 3 layers in a structure. The start value of each heat is determined by the difficulty and the combination of the entry, structure, and dismount. The pyramid event has 3 different heats with different requirements for each heat. Heat 1 must be an inversion, Heat 2 must be synchronized, and Heat 3 is an open heat. 2 key things the officials will be looking out for are the position of the top and the stability of the structure.
That's a great look at some fans over there, taking in the action, making a couple of new fans there as well, it looks like. And of course, it's been pretty active here in the Sioux Falls community in terms of youth as well, so It's always a great thing to see when it comes to that kind of thing.
Absolutely, starting to spread the word of the sport, definitely in this community, and then down to the younger generations too, offering this opportunity at the collegiate level now as another avenue for young women, young girls to pursue their careers in potentially gymnastics or competitive cheerleading.
Here's a quick look at where we stand through 2 as a little bit of a lead for the Bobcats as they march back out. We'll check that out here once again in between, just if you didn't get a good enough look at that.
Bobcats starting off with the inversion pyramid here. Number 41 there. She's been quite a powerhouse for this team, and so you'll see her basing and mid-leveling experience right here come to life with, again, number 4, Mia Rose King. It's been quite the duo for these Bobcats. Say very minimal deductions there. Really keeping that margin very narrow between both of these teams.
But there's another look at it again. They're headed briefly up momentarily, but bit of a slim lead now for Quinnipiac, performing very well on both sides. There's that 9.925 and that 5 for Oregon. Outperforming their mark from yesterday's action, which was a 9.8. So playing up at the right time.
Now we'll see the Oregon Ducks go out there and do their version of what we call the inversion pyramid. So the requirement here is you do have to go upside down, hitting some kind of a handstand position. That's why we call it inversion. And so you'll see each team can play to their strengths here again. Whatever pyramid that they think is going to get the best score for them, they'll go out there and perform. So for them, that was the same pyramid. So they submit what we call an SV file, so a start value file, 24 hours prior to the meet, declaring these skills that they will go out there and do. And so this is the pyramid that they designated they were going to perform today, and definitely a really good one for them. Very strong round. Again, that's Bethany Glick at the top. This same combination that we talked about earlier. Great job. Heading into the next heat, we have our synchronized pyramid. So each event has a synchronized component to it. Acro is the 6th element. The second heat of most of the events is synchronized. So acro, pyramid, and toss, you'll see the second heat go out and be synchronized.
Go ahead on the way here.
Again, with a 10.0 start value here. Quinnipiac Bobcats. Great job from the Bobcats there. So you'll see a bridge structure. We have not seen that yet, but it is quite common in the pyramid round. So the heat before was a thigh stand, and here we have a back bend or bridge structure. So it's a 1-1-1, one primary base, one mid-level, one top, the 270 up entry, and a 360 down dismount. Very clean, great execution from the Bobcats. Not a lot of deductions again from that one.
The answer coming up here from Oregon shortly as we close in on the halftime mark between these two, and a close affair if you're just joining us here. The lead for Quinnipiac, 66-150 to 65-550 through two.
Other teams there supporting Iona, who was out here yesterday competing for their first time here as a team at the national championship. Very exciting for that young program. So Oregon has chosen a different structure, different pyramid for their synchronized heat. They have that 2-1-1 structure again with thigh stands, starting from a 10.0 still. Nods of approval from the coaching staff over there. So you'll see a one base to one top combo right here. What makes this difficult is that press up to extension here. So unsupported, they'll transfer their feet over into hands, dip and press right into that one-to-one. Full extension into the cradle. No extra movement, working on making sure that there's no bobbles in that cradle body position. And falling straight, you don't want deviation, so to one side or the other, you want it to be completely straight on the mat there with a high catch. So we're headed into heat 3, the open pyramid here for Quinnipiac. Again, from a 10.0, so seeing very similar start values on both sides of the mat. That could change as the evening goes on, so something to continue to keep an eye on if there are any differences between those. Those start values do add up at the end.
All right, fans, we're on to our third and final heat of the tournament. This is the open heat.
One last time here for Quinnipiac in the first half. And they'll look to put out something to build upon here. Having a stellar first half so far, they are.
finish for their pyramid event. A lot of love as they ran back over to find their teammates. A lot of support for each other. And you can see some joy up there as well. You see a smile from that top. She's excited to be out there and perform this pyramid. A similar pyramid that Oregon just went out there and did for synchronized, just a little bit of a different dismount. Again, still starting from that 10.0.
We'll have one more addition here from Oregon, and that'll do it for the first half. As it's going to get even more interesting in the second half as we try to find a divide between these two, which has been tough to come by. Just moments away here, making sure everything crossing the T's and dotting the I's down there on the judges' table. It looks like now's the time.
All right, fans, we bring our pyramid event to a close. Again, this is the open pyramid heat. And next up, the start value of 10.00. Welcome again, the Ducks!
Finishing off with a bang from the Ducks here.
Hey fans, visit the marketing table to create a sign for your team. You can also keep track of start values and heat scores during the meet with your own scorecard. Mix them up at the marketing table near the main entrance to follow.
Solid run through there as they also closed themselves out on the right foot here in the first half. But stick around as we've reached the halftime break as we'll work through. We'll hear from both head coaches and more right here on ESPN+. And welcome back here, folks. The halftime mark between Quinnipiac and Oregon. Joining me here, Matt Seid, it's the head coach of the University of Oregon Ducks, Taylor Susanara. And Taylor, again, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
So talk about this matchup, two heavy hitters in this sport, what it's like to get out there and just be a part of a matchup like this.
Sure. You know, I think going up against any team in the national championship is an honor, but I think going up against Quinnipiac, you know, they're a strong competitor for us, number 2 and number 3. We saw them earlier on in the year, and they're really sharp, they're clean, and that's something that we've been prepping for going into this meet, and the energy in the arena is awesome, the fans are great, the
they've
parents,
been fantastic.
all of that, so it's keeping us ready to go.
Now, the second half, what should we look forward to as you guys look to claw up a little bit here and get ready to get that victory, perhaps?
Yeah, I'm really hoping that in tumbling event we can pull out a little bit better of execution than we did yesterday. We kind of mentally prepared for that. You know, Quinnipiac historically has been very good at tosses, and so I'm hoping that we can, you know, keep up with them there and then hopefully take the lead going into tumbling event and team event.
Well, thank you so much for your time, as always.
Thank you so much.
Stick around here, more coming up at the half between Oregon and Quinnipiac here on ESPN+. And welcome back here. Still halftime between Quinnipiac and Oregon here in the semifinals for NCATA Championship Weekend 2025. Joining me now, it's Tracy Cowan, a committee chair for the USA Gymnastics, Acrobatics, and Tumbling Development Program. And Tracy, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about the youth impact of this sport. And of course, you were involved in that this morning, and maybe tell a little bit more about what was going on there.
So we're having our National Invitational that is held in conjunction with the NCATA National Championship. So we were over at USF, which was just maybe 2 minutes.
Not too far away.
2 minutes. They were fabulous hosts to have us there. So we've been competing all day since 8 o'clock this morning, our little level 1s and 2s, and started our level 3 competitions today.
And now maybe perhaps somebody watching for the first time, if they want to find a way to get involved, how could they do something like that?
So if they go on the USA Gymnastics website, you can go to GFA, which is Gymnastics for All, and you can find the Acrobatics and Tumbling tab there, and it'll tell you all about us and how to reach us and let us get in touch with you to get you started.
And what would you say is your favorite part of championship weekend like this?
I love the performances that we get to do here. The kids get so excited to be a part of this like big picture.
Yeah,
you
sure.
kind of get to see what you've been working for, and the performances are fabulous. And then just being there with the kids and seeing them competing and battling it out for their national invitational, it's just a really fun time for us.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll step aside here. When we come back, we'll have more. Stick around on ESPN+. Just about through halftime, but a little bit more left to go here. And of course, we have to talk to the great head coach of the Quinnipiac Bobcats as well. We can't leave Miss Marianne Powers out of the mix. Thank you so much for joining us again, as always.
Thanks for having me.
Now, let's talk about the first half. You're jumping out to a little bit of a lead so far through 2. We'll talk about 3 later on events-wise, but still a great start for your team here in this one. What goes into that?
Just them making that decision it was going to be that way. They just got together last night, and it was go hard or go home. Let's go.
And then looking into the second half, extending to that, what should we look forward to and see what's going to really push them across the finish line?
I think they're going to you're going to see a better, stronger second half. They are on fire today. They want this really bad. And we're up against a really tough competitor, and they know that. So they're not taking anything for granted. They're putting everything out there.
Well, thank you so much for your time, as always. We'll step aside one more time. When we come back, we'll get ready for second half action right here on ESPN.
The fourth event is the toss event. In the toss event, you will see 4 athletes toss a teammate into the air. The teammate tossed into the air, known as a top, will execute a flip or twist before being caught. There are 3 heats in this event. The synchronized toss features 2 toss groups. These groups should look exactly alike and be in sync. The start value of the toss depends on the skills that the top executes in the air. Officials will be looking for height, the top's body position, and tight catches by the bases.
And we've got our scores now from event number 3. We can take a look at in the meantime and see where we sit now for event number 3, that is. And it's continuing to stick with the theme that we're seeing between these two, as things are just about as close as they can be. You heard head coach Marianne Powers talking about how her side is on fire, and there's another great look at that and the way things stack up as they've got themselves the advantage here through the halfway point. A couple of high marks there, as you can see, 9-8 plus on every single try there. Starting to stack things up as we get ready for event number 4 as we jump into the toss. You can see Quinnipiac as they get ready to kick off the second half. Their 450 in yesterday's edition was a 9.6, their highest scoring mark in event 4. We'll see if they can find a way to build off that performance. They've got a 9.9 start value, so that 9.6 yesterday, great for them. We'll see if they can do more, perhaps.
You'll see those similar start values between each team here. It's been pretty even back and forth with 10.0s and now a few 9.9 start values, but we'll see the same on both sides through the toss event.
They find themselves off and running here.
Elite level skill there, an Arabian pull-through toss. So you'll see her go up. She'll start with an Arabian and then pull through and do 540 at the end there.
Oregon looking to clean things up a little bit here in their second half performance. As we spoke on that during the half, we'll see if they can find ways to improve their outings this time around. Yesterday's 450 for this side brought in a 9.525. Couple of Oregon faithful behind us here, keeping it rowdy. There we go, look at that.
A lot of love.
Big shout out there. Not sure who's watching at home, but either way. Second half here if they want to find themselves in the winner's circle at the end of things, being where they are right now, but looks like they've got the energy, and that's half the battle there in itself.
Definitely. And competing the exact same toss, that Arabian salto tuck open into that 540, and very well executed there. A lot of what those officials want to see is that amplitude, that rise, that full extension off of that toss, and looked like she did a really good job of that, which allowed her to have that extension coming back into the cradle. And nice tight catches from those bases as well. You don't want to see any base movement, so you don't want to see a deviation where the bases end up in one direction, either side to side or forward or back. They want to stay pretty much planted. They can go through those body lines and jump off of the floor as long as they land right back where they jumped from.
Back over towards the other side again, as there's Quinnipiac waiting to shuffle forward for synchronized.
All right, fans, we move on to the second heat. This is the synchronized toss. And up first with a start value of 9.90.
Yesterday's mark for Quinnipiac bringing home a 9.375, so we'll see if they've maybe perhaps found a way to clean that up just a bit. I want to correct myself there, wrong score sheet. That's a 9.175 yesterday.
You see on the left-hand side, that was number 20, Catherine Coker. Number 18, Emily St. Ange, tops for the Bobcats here. Worked very hard on these skills to perform these back double tosses the way that they are. And really strong performance from the Bobcats. Continuing that momentum, you can feel that energy on the side there. Just getting excited and proud of everything that's gone out there so far. Short time to leave everything on the mat and leave with no regrets.
Back to Oregon now. I gotta tell you, one great crowd for this side, as they have been in it since the jump.
Definitely a rowdy bunch, but for good reason. This is an exciting time, and you know, whoever moves on and qualifies to go to the finals or is going to have a chance at that championship trophy.
Oregon trying to get back to the national championship matchup for the first time since 2023. Quinnipiac looking for the first time since 2018. That at the time hosted in Erie, Pennsylvania.
job from the Ducks. So you'll see same exact toss again. Back layout, double twist. Again, it's going to come down to that execution when you compare those skills back and forth. You see the coaching staff right there, Taylor Susanara, head coach, and then 2 assistants. It's important to note that both were actually student athletes prior, and actually Taylor was as well, prior to taking on that coaching role. It's a really awesome sport where you have a seamless transition from being a student athlete on the mat and going right into those head or assistant, maybe even graduate assistant coaching roles. There's a lot available across the NCATA right now, so student athletes that might be interested or other people that see this sport and really recognize the potential and the benefits from it, a lot of opportunities to go out there and coach. So if you go to the NCATA website, a really good place to find that out.
Those 2 assistant coaches for Oregon, Carly Nowak and Jackie Vandy Zilver, for that Duck coaching squad.
And for the Bobcats as well, a lot of student athletes that were just previously on the mat. Even just last year that head coach Mary Ann Powers has taken under her wing to help develop, and hopefully even if they stay assistant coaches, it's awesome to keep them in the sport and help grow other young coaches across the nation, but maybe going off and potentially head coaches one day as well.
That's a trio of assistant coaches for Quinnipiac, and Chloe White, Tiffany Ziba, and Melanie Mancini.
Great athletes. And I'm sure she's very happy to have them on her coaching staff. So you'll see that same exact skill, that back double. So she'll do a laid out body position with a double full twist. This one she'll add a little kick in there, and really important to note that it needs to be about 45 degrees of an angle in that kick. She did a fantastic job. Again, that's number 20, Catherine Coker. She's worked very hard on that toss, and so to see that come to life just like that, very exciting way to end out the toss event for the Quinnipiac Bobcats. I'm sure they're getting riled up, ready to go for a tumbling event. Leaving it all on the mat. Again, putting their best foot forward and making sure they're walking away with no regrets here tonight. And it looks like that energy is unmatched over there. They're doing a great job keeping it up and staying positive.
One more time here in the 4th event, as Oregon will get the call.
And here come the Oregon Ducks. They're ready to go.
At the end of event number 4.
Crowd still rowdy behind us.
quickly step aside. When we come back, we'll get ready for event number 5. Stay tuned right here on ESPN+.
The 5th event is the tumbling event. This event has 6 heats. The first 3 are synchronized group tumbling passes, a duo, trio, and quad tumbling pass. The last 3 are individual tumbling passes. The start value of each heat are determined by the difficulty and combination of skills in each heat. Officials will be looking for body position, continuity of skills, and technique in each skill.
Quinnipiac scores at 9.450. Oregon at 9.6.
There's a good look at some of the home fans getting ready for action later on.
In the synchronized heat, Quinnipiac scores at 9.375. Oregon scores at 9.375. And in the open heat, Quinnipiac scores at 9.450. Oregon at 9.525.
The scores making their way in for event 4. We'll check them out once they all make their way in.
28.275. Oregon 28.525. Your updated meet total. Quinnipiac 123.950. Oregon 123.475.
Looking at those scores there in the running total. Still keeping it super close, that 123.95 to 123.475. And as we head into the tumbling event, we will see a little bit of a start value difference between the two teams, and so important to keep in mind. Oregon does have all 10.0 start value passes. This pass will start from a 10.0 for the Bobcats.
There's Catherine Carter and Tiffany Smith. They looked to up their mark yesterday after their first run, brought home a 7.6.
That gave them a little bit of trouble yesterday with making that 1.5 around. So to see number 22 make it all the way around to be super successful, that was awesome. I'm sure a lot of confidence and energy coming back from that one too, knowing that they improved.
Oregon's duo now. The duo will be listed as Morgan Willingham, number 30, and Rachel Furlong, number 18. Only had one bit of a change yesterday in action. I don't think we'll see anything like that again. Sometimes it can get lost in translation, perhaps, in the listing and the declaring when it comes to these kind of things. Here's another look at that duo, and just maybe taking some extra time here to get dialed in for this as we dash into event number 5. Just trying to get things right. I guess maybe perhaps, it looks like the discussion has closed now.
All right then, next up in the duo pass is a start value of 10.00 for Oregon. Number 30, Morgan Willingham. And number 18, Rachel Furlong.
pretty solid mark in yesterday's action, bringing a 9:05 in, but trying to work on that and build it even higher, and I think they're on the right track to do so.
So what you want to see is a little bit of acceleration throughout the pass. You don't want to see any of the momentum get stalled there. You want to see a lot of power all the way through, and you can see the nods of approval from the coaching staff on both sides, head coach Taylor Susanara, and then the assistants as well on the other side as they made their way back.
Trio coming up now for Quinnipiac as you get another look at that on your screen here, that last duo edition.
Great job controlling their momentum at the end there. No extra movement, stopping that and bringing their foot right back where it was planted before.
But the trio coming up now for Quinnipiac, it looks like it'll be listed as the following. Number 18, Emily St. Ange, the junior. Number 29, Alyssa Esposito, it's a freshman in the mix. And then Catherine Coker, number 20, the senior.
All right, fans, we move forward onto the trio pass. And up first with a start value of 9.55 for the Bobcats. Number 18, Emily St. Ange.
To improve on their mark again from yesterday. Of course, you can see that 9.5 start value, but brought home an 8.25 yesterday. And I'm sure during walkthroughs today, they found a way to dial in on something they're looking to clean up a bit. We'll have to see if that was it.
Synchronization was definitely on there. Was off yesterday for sure. A little bit of deviation from one of those athletes, kind of going off track a hair, and so to see that pass today, that was a immaculate trio, and I'm sure they're very proud of that. Again, a lot of those corrections, it looks like anything that they needed to clean up has really come to life today based on their performance yesterday, so I'm sure there's a lot of conversation and a lot of passion you can tell coming from the Bobcats sideline there.
And don't forget, if you're just joining us here, it's about as close as it gets in terms of where we are running total-wise. 123.95 for Quinnipiac and 123.475 for Oregon.
Again, I just want to point out the start value difference. You know, Quinnipiac is at a 9.55 for their trio versus the 10.0 that the Oregon Ducks has. So there is a bit of a difference there. You may see that reflected in those scores that come out at the end of tumbling event, depending on their execution.
Now the trio coming up for Oregon. That will be Bria Alvarado, number 25. Number 29, Alexis Giardina, a senior and freshman, by the way. And then Haley Ellis, another senior, number 41, joins them. Yesterday's pass was a 9-2. Another look here again from Oregon.
Good job from that athlete in the back. I think that's Haley Ellis. She did a great job of getting her feet under her. It stalled a little bit in that handspring there. So she is definitely experienced in this position, so was able to still find the floor, get those feet under and land. We'll see a little bit of execution in the back there. 3 whips, hard to synchronize for sure. And you'll see that stall right there, but gets her feet underneath of her to land. Great job.
Over again for Quinnipiac as we take a look. There's some of those Oregon faithful there, letting them know. But for the quad coming up now for the Bobcats. Looks like the grouping is going to be the following. Gabriella Pierce, number 52, a junior. Alyssa Dillon, number 5, a senior. It's a group of all upperclassmen here. Julia Rogers, number 33, a senior, and Ashley Duggan, number 31, that's a junior, rounding out the group.
Once again, you'll see that start value difference here in this quad pass. Starting with a 9.25 for Quinnipiac versus a 10.0 for Oregon.
This is the quad pass, and up first with a start value of 9.25 for Quinnipiac. Number 52, Gabriella Pierce. Number 9, Alyssa Dillon. Number 33, Julia Rogers. And number 31, Ashley Duggan.
All athletes finding their feet. And this is one of those, yes, you do want to find your feet, but execution absolutely does matter. So not just to do it, but to do it very well is extremely important when it's going to be this close of a matchup here.
Now we'll see the addition coming up shortly from Oregon. That grouping looks like it will be Riley Watson, number 17, a senior. Shay Barnes, number 31, a junior for the Ducks. Number 4, Raquel Henderson, a junior. And Carly Garcia, number 36, a freshman, rounding out this group.
As you watch these tumbling passes, if you're just tuning in or don't know a lot about the sport of acrobatics and tumbling, they are not tumbling on a spring floor, so these athletes are generating the power for these elite tumbling passes all by themselves.
Just waiting for their go-ahead here as the tallying from Quinnipiac's last run being finished up here.
All right, fans, next up in the quad pass heat is a start value of 10.00 for Oregon. Number 17, Riley Watson. Number 31, Shay Barnes. Number 4, Raquel Henderson. And number 36, Carly Garcia.
There you have it once again from Oregon.
Round off, whip Arabian, round off, back handspring 1.5. A little step off the mat there for number 31, but controlling their landings. There's a lot of momentum going into that pass and a lot of skills to also fit within the confines of the floor that's laid out. again, all athletes on their feet. That's definitely what you want as a coach. And it was a clean pass too. So lost a little bit of synchronization at the end there, but again, as far as finishing up duo, trio, and quad, those individual passes are next. So, you know, it's going to go quick from here on out. Team event is coming up soon. If they are not an individual tumbler ready to go in the corner, focused on their pass ahead, more than likely these athletes are going to start warming up for team event on the sidelines there. You can see some acros, some standing tumbling passes from the Oregon sideline here, getting ready and locked in for that 2-minute and 45-second routine at the end of this meet that will be the determining factor of who will be moving on to the final round of the national championship tomorrow.
Well, we turn our attention now to Catherine Carter for the aerial for Quinnipiac, coming from the right side. Carter's run yesterday, bringing in a 9.575.
Pretty fired up about that one. A lot of power there you could see on this replay. Pretty quick, just got a lot of momentum going up and out into this whip, handspring, 1.5, but she is experienced and knows where her body is. She has great body awareness and is able to stall that momentum at the very end, know where her chest is, and land very clean. So a great pass, a great start for these individual heats in the tumbling event for the Bobcats.
Now Bria Alvarado, the freshman, will be in charge here for Oregon. Her run yesterday bringing home a 9.775. There she is towards the right of your screen.
And a freshman here as well. Not easy to get into these individual heats as a freshman. You know, you want to put your absolute best athletes, very experienced athletes out there. And so for her to come in as a freshman and be able to achieve a 10.0 aerial pass and for them to rely on her is an awesome place to be. Can't wait to see the growth in the coming years. You can see why they put a lot of faith in her. That was an amazing pass. She looks confident. She looks like she has experience. Really a great job there. So in one of these individual heats, there does have to be a forward-facing element. So you'll see, just depending on which pass a team will choose to do that forward-facing element. So Quinnipiac chose their first one, the aerial pass, to perform that. And so we'll see where Oregon decides to place theirs. So we're heading into the 6-element pass. Most important here is the requirement is to have 6 elements. So you can count those as they go, but that is the requirement for this one. And then open pass, there are no requirements there. So really up to the coach, the team, on what is going to score the best in that place.
Gabriella Pierce now is the focus for Quinnipiac. This is the 6 element for the junior, number 52. A 9.75 in yesterday's action.
Number 52, Gabriella Pierce.
Great job keeping that momentum going. One more for the Bobcats, and they are focused and locked in on team event.
We'll see Oregon's edition coming up here next. It'll be Riley Watson. That is the senior, number 17. She waits for her go-ahead here. Just about any second now, and now we've got it.
All right, fans, onward we go in the sit down the pass. Next up, a start value of 10.00. For Oregon, number 17, Riley Watson.
Great pass there. So the same pass that Quinnipiac competed. I'll show the replay here. You see this hip rise on the Arabian here. Long, low whip, really high Arabian. She floats. And the hip rise there again in that 1.5, but still controlling the landing. Great, technically great pass. And that's really what you want to see, is those technicalities coming to life, the basics coming into play with those elite level passes really shining through. And you can tell she should be very happy with that pass, and I believe the coaching staff is as well. You see a few warm-ups on the sidelines there. Again, from both teams, there's one more pass, and we are headed right into the team event. And we always talk about how it comes down to team event. This one is going to be a nail biter. It is neck and neck,
close.
and it definitely will be.
It's Tiffany Smith coming up here for Quinnipiac, number 22, the sophomore.
First with a start value of 10.00 for the Bobcats, number 22, Tiffany Smith.
Tiffany's opened yesterday with a 9.525.
And way to close out the tumbling event for the Bobcats.
One more time coming up from Oregon.
Let's go, Oregon! Let's go! Let's go, Oregon! Let's go! Let's go, Oregon! Let's go! Let's go, Oregon! Let's go!
And these
Morgan
fans,
Willingham is going to be the one to close it out here, and they are letting her know that they are
Yes.
behind her.
and they have not let up this entire meet. They started out super strong, and they are not letting down from that. Really trying to help out their team as best as possible. You know, it can be very tiring going back to back like this, and with the travel and everything, it's definitely tough, but they are giving them everything that they possibly can to give them the energy to continue to push through.
Looks like we're ready.
All right, fans, we close out the tumbling event. And next up, a start value of 10.00 for the Dutch. Number 30, Morgan Willingham.
was a great pass. And again, a freshman for the Ducks. And we talked about that before with their aerial pass, to have that trust in a freshman and for her to go out there and perform on the national stage just like that. I mean, what an incredible start for their freshmen and, their careers as far as acrobatics and tumbling goes. The sky's the limit.
Team event coming up here next. We're going to take a quick break, but stick around right here on ESPN+.
The sixth event is the team event. This event encompasses everything you just watched in the first 5 events. The team event features up to 24 athletes on the floor at one time, performing skills in acro, toss, pyramid, and tumbling in a routine set to music. Key items for officials to evaluate include synchronization of skills, stability of the structures, body position, and technique of the tumbling. This is a very fast-paced event, so be sure to keep your eyes on the mat.
Quinnipiac with a score of 8.250.
The scores making their way in now here from event number 5.
In the aerial heat, Quinnipiac with a score of 9.775. Oregon with a score of 9.775. In the six element heats, Quinnipiac with a score of 9.6.
Everyone just waiting here on the edge of their seat to see where we stand through 5.
Score of 9.825. And in the open heat, Quinnipiac with a score of 9.525. Oregon with a score of 9.775. Your event total for the Bobcats.
You see it here shortly on your screen.
025. And for the Ducks, 56.450. Your updated meet.
And we mentioned that it was going to be a close one to the end, and this you'll see here shortly as to why.
75. Oregon, 179.9.
Let's have a look here now. And look at that, Oregon jumping in front.
So as we head into this team event, we talk about it so much, but it really does fall on team event as far as execution and who is going to take away the win this evening. And so we will see, again, we talk about the start value discrepancy. Quinnipiac a little bit lower of a start value heading into this team event, but it comes down to execution ultimately. And so hopefully they are able to go out there and perform to the best of their ability and really come together as a team right now. A lot on the line here. Two minutes and 45 seconds. Here we go.
Yesterday's team event for Quinnipiac bringing home an 87.
Great job there with tumbling. Heading into pyramids, we have your synchronized pyramid on the left-hand side.
A little bit of a mishap there towards the middle.
So still having to push through, hit all of their skills, trying to find their feet. Everybody, great job on the tumbling so far. acro sequence, synchronized on the right side here. Great job there. So finishing up on the left-hand side here. Some standing tumbling, working on their synchronization. Last pyramid here in the middle. Fighting through and holding. Senior in the middle there. You can see the emotion on her face.
There you have it from Quinnipiac here in day 2.
So great start with those tosses there. Left-hand side, catch in the middle. So you'll see the synchronized pyramid didn't go to plan. One didn't go all the way through to the dismount, and that is their sync pyramid. So that is a requirement. Trying to find their feet. Everybody, significant reduction. Great job on the tumbling. So again, it's not over until it's over. So the rest of the routine really pristine as far as hitting. Great job there. Finishing up on the left-hand side here. A really hard thing to do, especially again finishing up on the left-hand side here. Very long championship already. So for them to find the energy and fight through, great for them.
Someone will be doing this again tomorrow, too. One
Emotion on her face.
2 times in 3 days.
Yes.
Got some adversity there. But stick with us here when we come back. Oregon will take the mat. We'll have our first winner of the evening here on ESPN+. Welcome back. There you can see where we stand through 5 as we wait for Oregon to take the floor.
You see youth acrobatics and tumbling right here. So exciting to see these young ones out there performing to the best of their ability as well, knowing that they may have the opportunity in the near future to go and do the sport of acrobatics and tumbling in college. A couple years ago, that wasn't possible.
Look at where we are now.
Absolutely, and the sport started in 2009, and all of these young ones are going to have potential opportunity to go out there and live their dream of being a college athlete due to the women that have been trailblazers. Very exciting.
A lot of fun for this group here, and everybody's so supportive in the crowd for this as well.
And they know the bigger picture too. They know that one day they could have that chance to be out there maybe at a Quinnipiac or Oregon, making their difference for women across the nation, across the world, to have more opportunities to compete and show how athletic this sport truly is.
That's who we're waiting on there in Oregon. Their edition coming up here shortly. Their team event yesterday bringing home a 91.03.
Again, we look at that start value difference, 106 for Quinnipiac versus a 109 for Oregon. And we always know it's going to come down to execution. You do have to hit all of your skills. Start value doesn't matter if you're not clean and you don't do all of the skills the way they're supposed to be performed. So again, anybody's game. We'll see what happens.
Here come the Ducks.
2 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. Acros here, synchronized in the back. Fighting through here on both sides of those synchronized acro sequence. Good fight in the back. All the way down to the floor. Great job. Pushing through this cross-tumbling sequence. Keep your eyes peeled. All athletes finding their feet. Great job from the Ducks. Very difficult acro sequence, but a lot of excitement there knowing they hit. Heading into synchronized toss. Finishing up here with pyramids. Fighting all the way until their feet land on that ground. Great job. A lot of energy.
Boy, oh boy, is it going to be close between these two. It's going to be tough. I really think it's going to come down to the wire in this one. I got to tell you, a seat is hard to come by here as the crowds for the next matchup in the homestanding Vikings are starting to filter in here, and they are really packing the place for this one.
So small mishap for the Ducks right there in the middle. Another touchdown and that standing tumbling pass. We saw that yesterday, and unfortunately 2 of them went down yesterday. 1 of them looks like they touched today. So just a small mishap. Yes, it is a fall, so we'll see as far as that deduction goes. How much the officials are going to take on not just that, but all of these tumbling passes here. You know, some form, some synchronization errors, but all pyramids up in the air, all acros up in the air. Really great to see.
One of these two, if it's Oregon winning, will be back in the national championship for the first time since 2023. And should it be Quinnipiac, it'll be the first time since 2018.
Let's go, power! Let's go, power!
It just comes down to those final few moments here. In the meantime, you can see where we stand right now and how close it's going to be. But why don't we take a look at the bracket once again and look at how we got to where we are and what's coming up later on tonight.
Let's go, power!
There you can get a good look at things. Of course, Baylor and Augustana coming up tonight. The Vikings, they're continuing this run that they find themselves on right now that we had spoken about yesterday, saying that a team really jumping out of the gates this quickly and getting themselves to the point of where they are now is quite a feat in itself for the Vikings.
It is, and historically speaking, I'm not sure that it's truly ever been done before. This early on, head coach Kaylin Dillon did start the program here 3 years ago, and so this is their 3rd year of competition. To see them rise as high as the 4th seed and then move on to the semifinals as well is a very exciting place for this young program to start. And
on the opposite end, you get to go up against the 9 in a row winning national champion Baylor Bears.
Definitely.
And you get the boost of being here in your home facility. So if there was ever a recipe for a squad to make the jump to rise to the occasion, I would have to say that would be it.
This would be a perfect formula.
Be quite the storybook season continuing for the Vikings, but they're waiting around as they'll kick off around 7 p.m. Central. As they wait just as we do, does Oregon.
Out here right now we have a small acrobatics and tumbling team, youth acro and tumbling team. Great to see them out here.
How fun. And as we said earlier, the whole crowd bringing the support just as much for this team here as they are for the ones competing for a right to go to the national championship. But it looks like we're moments away from getting our final score as to who will be making their advance. I believe once this routine wraps up here, we'll have it. And we'll jump right into action coming up at, again, 7 o'clock Central for our secondary semifinal.
Youth teams that are out there right now across the country. I believe there's upwards to 30 youth programs out there right now. A lot of these skills they're doing are actually the true basics of the sport, and they are training for those elite level skills that you're seeing competed at this level in college.
And this will be a moment for everyone out there that I'm sure they'll never forget anytime soon. This whole crowd behind them here, that's just got to be a core memory for some, if not all, as they continue in their athletic career in this discipline.
Hey fans, learn more about acrobatics and tumbling, the fast-growing collegiate sport for women, by visiting
The bracket board is about ready to make its way to mid-mat.
You can see a lot of emotion over there, more than likely seniors on the mat. Also, potentially, we'll see what happens, but I know on both sides, could be the last time going out there competing as a team, if not ever, definitely for this year and this season. And every close to a season comes with a lot of emotions, a lot of memories that are made for each team. And it's exciting to start over every year. Every year is new, but it is sad to see, chapters being closed.
I mean, soon as the page continues to move here for this weekend, you'll be getting ready to start over yourself and get ready for a brand new year. So
definitely.
For those not familiar, Michaela working in the coaching ranks for Duquesne University out of Pittsburgh.
The team event with a start value of 106.12. Quinnipiac scores an 84.620. And with a start value of 109.23, Oregon scores at 90.50. Quinnipiac 263.595, Oregon 270.455.
is Oregon, as they'll claim their spot in the championship tomorrow. At the first time since 2023 that they advanced to the championship.
Great job to Oregon. Again, start value difference there in the team event, at least 3 points, plus a few mishaps. Again, that pyramid fall for Quinnipiac, but you know, really great to see. Awesome competition this evening. I mean, the best of the best. That's why they're here. And they've definitely earned the spot here in the semis, and it's really exciting to see Oregon go against the winner of the next matchup coming up shortly.
And in that championship in 2023, Oregon took on Baylor. That was on the campus of West Liberty back at the time, and they fell to the Baylor Bears 278 to 268. Make sure you stick around as we get ready for the second portion of action coming up here at 7 o'clock. We'll have that action coming up shortly, so stay tuned right here on ESPN Plus for more.
Wish brings hope, strength, and joy to these children by turning their heartfelt dreams into reality. Today, Augustana University Athletics